Hello. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to sprout quinoa and make my favorite I call it famous because it's like once a week in our household, gluten-free flatbread that is super nutritious and really, really, really yummy. Really yummy. So what we do, I sprout my quinoa, and the reason being, when you sprout anything, it creates a more nutritious form of the seed, the grain, whatever it is, and it digests much easier on your gut. So I've been sprouting quinoa since October, and I couldn't eat it otherwise. Like, I love it this way. Basically what sprouting means is you soak the bean or the seed and it grows a tail. Not everything grows a tail, but seeds will. Garbanzo beans do. Certain things, and that's pretty much it. So you're growing a tail. So we're gonna dump the quinoa in this jar. Now, if you want a jar like this, you can pick it up at Better Health. Most local health stores will have it. Whole Foods has them. I got mine online on Amazon for like $7. I have 3 of these so I can keep them going together. So it has this little mesh screen here. Okay, so you have your quinoa in there. And I usually do it in the evening because you have to let it soak overnight. So I have my water pitcher and I'm just gonna fill it up about 3/4. Well, I ran out of water. This is enough. You could go a little more, but it doesn't matter. If you do beans, you have to do a lot more water because the beans expand, but the quinoa, it doesn't really. It'll be okay in the morning with that much extra. It does a little bit, but not much. So what we're gonna do is let this sit overnight, and then in the morning, I will be back to show you the next step. All right, guys, so here is step 2 of the sprouting quinoa process. So it's soaked overnight, and it pretty much soaked up most of the water, like you can see. So it was just enough water. Could have used a little bit more, but there's no harm done. So what you're gonna do, and I give it a good shake, kinda. You're gonna get that water out as best you can. Okay, it's gonna drip for forever, so don't worry about it, because we have this step is made for the dripping. So you're gonna put a little bit more water in it, not a whole bunch. Fills up pretty quick. Kind of shake it around, just kind of like give it a good rinse, and then you're gonna dump it out again. Okay, now you're gonna do this whole step again about 5 hours from now. If it's not 5 hours, it's okay. It can be longer if you need it to be. This is why I soak it overnight, because when I wake up, you have to rinse it twice. So when I wake up, I can rinse it in the morning, and then I can rinse it mid-afternoon, and then by evening, it's ready to eat. So if you time it out right, it's really awesome. Perfect. Okay, that's good. So what you do until you rinse it again, just get a bowl, put your jar in it like this, set it up right, and then it's just gonna drain out the excess liquid. So that's what you need to do. And then, so like I said, you're gonna repeat this process about 5 to 8 hours from now. Try and do 5, so you can let it drain out for a few hours before you end up using it. If you're not gonna use the quinoa today, it doesn't really matter if you do it in 5 hours. You can wait later, and then you're good to go. Okay, it is time to make the flatbread. So this is super simple. Let's see, it is now 5 o'clock in the evening, and this is a really good time to start making it. If you start soaking it overnight the night before, it kind of ends up perfect. So get your blender out. It actually blends together better in a blender than a processor. So if you have a blender, that's really, really good. Dump it all in there. And then you're gonna need one of these rubbery kind of spatulas to get the excess as best you can. I'm gonna try something new today too. I'm gonna put rosemary in here. No, I've done rosemary before. I'm gonna put dehydrated onion flakes. Make it like an onion crust. Never done that before. That's the fun about this, is you can kind of just do whatever you want with it. When I pull it out sometimes too, I'll put olive oil around the crust and then sprinkle some red pepper flakes. That's really good, or garlic. Okay, so we have the quinoa in here. It ends up being about a little over 40 ounces after it's sprouted. Okay, and then you're gonna need some salt, preferably Himalayan or sea salt. Okay, that's good. And then garlic powder. An ingredient I do like to put in here that I don't have right now is nutritional yeast. It's not like your normal yeast. Nutritional yeast has nutritional benefits to it. It's a really good, kind of makes bread like a cheesy, not necessarily, it can act as a cheesy substance in certain ingredients or certain recipes, but for this one it kind of just makes the bread thicker, and it's just a really good source of B12. So then if you have a large lemon, you'll want to do a large, pretty much, if you really want to measure it out, you could do like a 1/4 cup lemon juice. Sometimes you just need like half of a large or 2 small ones, which I think I'm going to end up using 2 small ones. Yep. So about a 1/4 cup lemon juice then. Okay. And then I have the oven on 350 preheating right now. Okay. There's the lemon juice. And then I have a little bit of rosemary. So I'm going to sprinkle some of that. The rosemary smells really good when you're baking it. It's wonderful. I just sprinkle it on the top. I don't measure it because rosemary is delicious. All right, and then this is what I'm going to try that's new. There's this little spice shop downtown Northville. So got this minced onion here. I think I'll put about a tablespoon in there. I think that'll taste really good. Kind of eyeing it. Yeah, we'll call that a tablespoon. Okay. Then I do a teeny tiny bit of apple cider vinegar. So I'm going to actually measure this out. Let's see. 1 teaspoon. I'm going to do 2 teaspoons. Because apple cider vinegar is super good for you. I've seen it used in other recipes. Yeah, that's good. So why not add it in there? You can't taste it. Okay, and then, can I have the water, please? May I please have the water? You're going to put just a little bit of water. I would do like a 1/4 cup. I think, yeah, 1/4 cup should be good to start with. Okay, and then I'm going to blend it up. Okay, so there's not enough water. You can see about half of up to here is blending, the rest is not. So I'm going to add a little bit more. Just go around. You just kind of have to test it out. It can become too liquid-like if you put too much, so just kind of do a little bit at a time. Okay, so you are going to grease your pan. I have a pretty much a regular size, I think it's a 13 by 9, regular size baking sheet. I'm going to use coconut oil. You want to make sure you get all up around the sides because it will stick. It will rise a little bit and it will stick, and that's a pain in the butt to get it off. So you want to do that, and then you'll know when your batter basically is ready because it's going to be like pancake batter. Okay, so there we go. All right. Loud, I know. See, there it is. Okay, and then you'll notice, see, here we go. It's like a batter. And then just take your spatula. Get it all in there. And then your oven should be preheated 350. And it's gonna bake about 25 to 35 minutes. It depends if you're using nutritional yeast, because if you are, then, and I don't measure that out either. I probably put about a 1/4 cup in when I do. That's just average, but it's gonna take longer to cook if you aren't using that. So I'm gonna spread it around. It's really pretty. It's pretty white looking. And then I got the tricolor quinoa from Trader Joe's, so there's the different color quinoa in there. Okay, get the rest off your spatula. And here we go. There it is. Woohoo! So I'm gonna put it in the oven now and see you in a bit. Okay, you guys, so here is the final product. Okay, so it's really good. Only problem is that I took it out about 5 minutes too early, and that happened. That's what happens. I scraped up pieces that we could eat, but it doesn't get all the way underneath the bottom layer if it's not cooked all the way, and I took it out a little too soon. It's gonna happen. I've overcooked it. I've done a little bit of everything, but no matter what, if you let it sit out, it ends up being just fine. It always tastes good. It's just the texture sometimes turns out differently. So what I did in the meantime, I made some guacamole. We have 3 large avocados, juice of 1 lime, Himalayan salt, and garlic powder in there. So what I'm gonna do is find a spatula. Okay. And I'm just gonna spread it on. We do this instead of sauce. This makes it more of like a flatbread rather than a pizza. But I first discovered this recipe because I found it as a pizza crust online somewhere, and then I kind of just have tweaked it over the past few years and made it my own. So now it's kind of like a yummy flatbread. So, did that. I'm going to show you a couple different options here. You can put anything on top, it's really good. Got some sunflower shoots here, so just keeping it simple. There we go. You could put peppers on it, whatever, honestly, whatever you want. This side, gonna do a little something different. I have some yummy onions and baby bella mushrooms from the farmer's market. So I sauteed those up in black garlic. If you guys can ever find black garlic, it's really good. It's kind of gross sounding and looking. It's legit black. They ferment garlic. So that is fermented garlic. It has a really good taste, a really good smell. So, sauteed up some of the onion and mushroom in there. And just gonna lay it on there, kind of like that. So one side is completely raw, well, ingredients, and the other side has some cooked stuff on it. Keep it plain in the middle, whatever. You can even put some of these on top, whatever. So that's it. There you have it. Anything you want. That's the same recipe that you see in all my pictures when I do different types of flatbreads. So just know that it turns out differently every time. It's not perfect, but it's really good, and it's a really good way to learn to be gluten-free, soy-free, dairy-free. And a crust, if you want carbs, you can cut it up and eat it with some salad or whatever you want to do with it. Dip it in soup. Really good. Really fun. If you don't sprout the quinoa, you can try it like that. I've never done that, so I can't tell you how it's going to turn out. It might turn out just fine. The only difference is you may have to cook that quinoa first, because when you soak quinoa for 24 hours, it gets soft. So we didn't cook it before we put it in the blender. So that could be the difference. But anyway, hope you like it. Bye.